Yo, 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 it's your boy the Alpha Zame, not Jedi Mike 7, but he is here. The Alpha is here, the legend himself. He is here, got his whole setup because technical issues with Restream, but we are here. So shout out to that. Shout out to everybody who stayed and watched the first bit, but we on the second bit. And what today we are talking about Jonathan Majors, but how are you today, Jedi Mike? You're muted. You're still muted? I see you.
That's me. So sorry, I muted myself on personal on the rain. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well and everything. It's raining in the background though. But hope you having a good 4th of July weekend, and we hopefully can dissect this objectively as black men, and hopefully it can also come from different perspectives of just knowing this industry and everything like that, and understanding also just news, tabloids, and and everything like that. So yeah, I'll get into it.
The one thing I do want to let everybody know, Rolling Stone has been known to not check sources. 2015 article, I don't want to say that word, on campus. Look that up if you want to know. 2018, they had like 2 more stories in which no one was there to even collaborate the stories. So they are known for hit pieces. But today we want to be objective weekend. We're going to read it, listen to it. We're going to also listen to Jonathan Major's response to the whole thing and see what is he saying about all these alleged charges. And this article is by far one of the strangest articles I have ever read.
Yes.
They went back to his high school and was asking people all kind of crazy. Jeremiah, have you seen these? Have you read this article? And
I read the headlines of basically there was over dozens of people dating back to a decade ago, which is he's 30, he's 33, so that's about when he's like 23, like my age, or I'm 24, but like I'm literally my age, and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy now that when it comes to a black man, oh yeah, we're gonna get the CIA, the FBI, NAACP, all of this, CN, Caucasian News Network, all of it, so that we're just gonna get every little bit of information to destroy this man. And I think also too, we kind of get into this conversation too about like even though the statute limitations have now been limited now, to a point where, hey, there is no amount of time that exceeds when you can actually report a crime about something. If it happened, whatever, 30 years ago, whatever, so be it. Even though you don't remember that person's name or whatever, doesn't matter. I also think there's a thing about people holding certain grudges over many, many years in many different sectors and stuff like that. But again, we're not going to get into the more specific claims because Rolling Stones, a lot of these things were actually reported a month ago or whatever, stuff that we already knew about. So it's like when they brought this up again, it's almost like, oh, there's more victims. No, this is stuff we heard right as the incident was happening, when people say, oh yeah, there are other reports of him being abusive and other stuff like that. So this is nothing new that is happening now that we don't know. They're just trying to bring it up again because of happened a few days ago later, yesterday. We get news that the lady, the person who in the incident was about to get arrested, or at least there's probable cause of her getting arrested. So that's why the Rolling Stone article came in as almost retaliation or a comeback to beat that news of her getting arrested.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what this article is. It apparently it took 3 months of research. But I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be as fair as I can be. We're gonna go over. I've read over. It's a very strange article. Y'all can let us know your thoughts and all that on this article. But let's get to reading, and then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see his response. Jonathan Majors' extreme abuse allegedly goes back nearly a decade. Majors was abusive with his partners, aggressive on set, a source of toxicity at Yale. 24 sources telling Rolling Stones. Major vehemently denies all allegation by Cheyenne Roundtree, Athelia Legaspi. Long name. Jonathan Majors was a Hollywood star and on the cusp of going supernova. The last black man in San Francisco first brought him critical acclaim. Lovecraft Country, very good show. I wish it came back. The Harder They Fall and Creed 3 propelled his popularity, and most recently, early buzz of his upcoming film Magazine Dreams and his reoccurring Kane the Conqueror character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe were set to make him a household name. But lately, most headlines about Majors have been involving a messy domestic violence case. In March, Majors was arrested for allegedly attacking a girlfriend, and this week, the New York Post and Times both reported that the New York Police Department has alerted officers that there is a probable cause to arrest Majors' accusers as well. The criminal case against Majors remained open, and the allegations threatened to upend his career, the first public stains on an otherwise unblemished reputation, until, of course, we do it. In dozens of new interviews with the Rolling Stone. However, those who have known Majors over the past decade claim he has a history of abusive behavior. So let's try to get into this. During a 3-month investigation, because of course that's all it took, Rolling Stone spoke with more than 40 people who have known Majors during his time in graduate school, his Hollywood career, and his romantic relationships. Many describe Major as being complicated, unpredictable, and sometimes violent, who can switch on charming to cold in a flash. All of the sources for this article requested anonymity, citing fear of career repercussions and personal retribution from Majors. Some claim they were prohibited from speaking. My only response is I can be that I am silenced by an NDA he had me sign, says one person who worked with Majors. Why would you sign an NDA when you just work with him? Unless it's
exactly.
The story suggests a pattern of alleged physical, mental, and emotional abuse that dates back a decade to Major's time at Yale, David Griffin's School of Drama, where he was involved in physical altercations and continued to the sets of his movies and TV shows, where production members raised concern of it over treatment from the crew. Then we got the little thing we read earlier, which is, it says these allegations are based clearly on hearsay because neither the romantic partner referenced were willing to engage with the Rolling Stone article. So basically, the people who they said were the victims of said abuse was unwilling to even go into this article.
Make a comment.
Yeah, they refused to make a comment, which is also very interesting. Let's go over some more. Most seriously, more than a dozen sources collectively claimed to the Rolling Stone that Major allegedly abused 2 more romantic partners, one physically, both of them emotionally. It was pervasively known that he was a good actor and that he would terrorize the people that he had dated. One of those sources said Major allegedly strangled one woman he was dating and mentally and emotionally abusive with her. 9 of those sources claimed the second woman allegedly told a friend that her relationship with Major was emotional torture. So they're alleging that he strangled her. Those who are friends with the woman or were present during the relationship with Major independently corroborated details of the alleged abuse throughout the conversation with Rolling Stone. They described feeling alarmed by what they witnessed at the time or what they were told by the women. Oh, I do want to pause right here before we get into this other stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people, he would just strangle her in front of these people.
It just whooping their asses, seriously, literally, he was the Adonis Creed of his Damien. So it's they literally in the ring 24/7, and they're in the audience, and it's cheering them on and all stuff like that, and then and they won't say nothing. Listen, I think again, even with the real issue here really is the core of public opinion, because the fact is that people don't read. We don't read anymore. We don't. We read headlines, not actual paragraphs, right? Because off the headline, you will say over a dozen people, have done this, predating back decades, whatever. But the people say they refuse to comment, right? You just have people. Oh, well, I heard this person had an issue, had an experience with him. X, Y, Z had bags at Yale, not very predominant, black university. But again, I do believe that in this situation here, there's a lot of things that we can pinpoint here. Obviously, okay, there might be a pattern of behavior. Might be. Can someone have anger issues and not actually be an abuser and anything like that? Yes. However, one thing I do question is the timing of all this. Because one, the situation, you see a lot of people, the argument they make is about saying, oh, well, these people don't want to come out because they're afraid of, their reputation or whatever. Or I guess, in terms of the social power that Jonathan Majors have. I don't care what money you have. You are a black man. Don't think that, you're afraid if I come up, then he's going to tear me down. No, that's not the case. That might happen for maybe Harvey Weinstein, where I took over dozens and dozens and dozens of people to actually take down that person, right? And actually was, legit in a corporate sense. I've been known for years, right? The social hierarchy of power in the entertainment industry, yes, that might mean one thing. But an actor who let's keep it real. His face hasn't really been making the scene other than like what 2 years ago, really right during the pandemic and since on, right? So don't say this dude, but they've been a prolific, entertainer for years. Whatever, we really known him before since like Lovecraft Country, and so when we get into this, we're also seeing these type of characters are getting into like the roles that Jonathan Majors are playing are coming across as very violent. Like either you mentioned one of the recent films that he's in, the film, which by the way, like we seen, I know how some of my friends have actually seen this film. I think it's of him being a wrestler, or whatever, right? It's actually fascinating because that character is dealing with emotional problems and also is very aggressive. So then it's again that film or whatever is just not really good for his image. Damien from Creed, he's a ex-convict, whatever, but he's also aggressive and getting fights and playing dirty. So the character from Lovecraft Country, still, he's still a black man in the South, come from military, whatever, but he still can be violent when he needs to be. So it's just like a consistent pattern of the type of roles he's making that not really kind of adding on in terms of his image of like, hey, I'm really this wholesome, person, whatever. But again, it's just like with the reports that came out a few days ago saying that, oh yeah, this woman was about to be arrested and everything like that, but then she hasn't been arrested. There's been probable cause for her to get arrested, right? Which is a big win on his part. But then you have this Rolling Stone article just come out of the blue, just right a few days after. It's just trying to stir the pot up just for jumping on his image and everything. When people actually read it, there really is no probable cause other than just hearsay. Because even then, the people are not even coming out and saying, yes, I was this person, I did this XYZ. The only person we know is a woman who is in this case right now. Her first and last name, who worked on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and watched when they had a relationship briefly before the incident came to be. So that's the only person we know in terms of name. And even then, she retracted her statements, but then now it's more of the state pulling this and stuff. There's a whole lot of misinformation going on. But again, we're going to have his trial come in on August 3rd or 8th, I believe. And that's about 2 or 3 months before Loki season 2, which is that character he plays, Kane the Conqueror. It's very, very predominant in that storyline. So we got some time for hopefully, but
let's continue reading. Majors was aggressive at work as well, according to sources. Most recent on the set of upcoming film Magazine Dream. 2 production members claimed the 33-year-old actor pushed one person while on set and physically intimidated another while screaming at them, leading to a complaint to producer. The source says executive producers wanted them to give Majors his space. Now, they had to write this extra part in here. A production source with knowledge has claimed Rolling Stone that the producer were only aware of one complaint that was made toward the end of the filming and disputed that it was physically intimidating. Shout out to Mandrill. Shout out to Unico Williams too, and everybody in the chat. The allegation that Mr. Majors got physical with or physically intimidated anyone on any movie said are downright false. Push wrote in the statement to Rolling Stone. Everyone who has worked with Mr. Majors know he employs an immersive method acting style, and while that can be misconstrued as rudeness at times, those who know Mr. Majors' work in the industry have attested to his dedication to his craft as well as his kindness. These new allegations come against the backdrop of Majors' ensuing case over the recent domestic abuse claim. Last week, a judge ruled the case will go to trial starting August 3rd. Majors' legal team has vehemently denied the woman's accusation, and a day after his court hearing, Majors filed his own police complaint against the woman, claiming he was the victim of domestic dispute. Shout out to the New York Times on that article. However, the New York Police Department has confirmed Rolling Stone the investigation to the initial accuser was ongoing, but no additional arrest has been made, saying that she has not been arrested yet, but they are investigating. Right. No one is surprised this is coming out, one source said. It always felt like it was a matter of time because his behavior never changed. He's kind of a bad dude, and that's catching up to him. That's him in When We Rise movie. That's a throwback. I didn't even know who he was at this point. I ain't gonna lie. I saw him in the movie. Shout out to that movie. Throughout conversations with more than a dozen sources, Rolling Stone has learned of 2 women Majors allegedly abused, either physically or emotionally. These 2 women declined to comment for this article, with one of the women through a spokesperson citing fear of retribution. One woman who dated Majors was strangled and physically and emotionally abused. 9 sources familiar with the relationship claim. At first, the source said Major was romantic with the woman before becoming manipulative and volatile. The situation became really extreme abusive physically and mentally. One source claimed allegedly escalated to the point of him strangling her. Two sources claim she tried to leave multiple times and had an exit plan at one point, but remained in a relationship. Major's emotionally abused the second woman he was dating. 9 people familiar with their relationship alleged. That was also weird to me. There was always 9 people. I'm sorry, like it ain't. Is it the same people?
Yeah.
Like now, see, this is where it gets hard on these little weird like articles like this, which I hate these type of articles because now you just say 9 and then 9 is it the same 9? Are they his friends? Because I'm assuming that there's no way that these people have the same 2 friends,
Right.
unless they were like friends too. The woman said her relationship with Majors was emotional torture, according to one source. Though the woman told friends at the time Majors was never physically abusive to her, she said there were moments of near violence where he would get filled with rage, says the source. The woman confided in. The woman told the source that Majors would say he needed to hit someone, punch a wall, or something of that nature. By the way, if he's 16 and he get mad at you, and we don't know why, we don't know the story. Let's say it's true. What is near violence and filled with rage? And then he says, "Oh, I'm upset. Let me go. Let me leave." Isn't that what we want people to do, especially if they're angry at you?
Right. Exactly.
I'm just this all just what I'm saying. I don't a lot like I said, a lot of this is interesting, but we're gonna listen to it. Y'all gotta listen to it. Jedi might get anything on with that part.
Again, there's going by like you're going case by case basis and stuff. Cause listen, we all probably been in situations before where it might have been violent or hopefully some more than others where there's when you look back at it there might have been a better way you probably could have handled that situation whatever. I'm not saying talk about in domestic or in a relationship whatever but just with people. However, I do believe that when they're breaking down this case and you see a few outliers here in terms of the number of people that he been I guess been accused of or of assaulting and stuff like that, and saying that, oh yeah, we've been perceived to be very, very violent. People like that do not move in this industry. Because listen, there's one thing, for example, if he was in his up and coming career, maybe maybe 10, maybe 15 years ago, whatever, right? Because now the way we are as a culture with Me Too or allegations and stuff like that is not as predominant as it was 10, 15 years ago as it is today. So he's coming up in the height of people having receipts on you and basically trying to he said she said stuff like that whatever you almost kind of walking on eggshells in this industry now more than ever. But the fact that he got to the point he did in 3 years and no one has never said anything until now after this incident, and then you go back saying, well, 10 years ago 9 people. No, that's not realistic. It doesn't happen like that in this industry.
Yeah, I'm very interested in a lot. The thing I hate about anonymity is that anybody can say whatever and you don't have to hold nobody accountable, and they be like, "Oh, that's why we want them to be anonymous." But I don't know who they are. I don't know if they really have a relationship with this man or not. Did they randomly go to his school? I'm pretty sure you can find 9 people right now that would allow me the first they get in high school. I'm just saying. Right. I'm pretty sure you could. He was mean. He never talked to us. Well, that probably wouldn't be true for me. I talk to everybody, but still, they'll find some reason to say something.
Find something, right. You have folks like from college that okay, like I remember him freshman year he would do this X Y Z whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I don't talk to you. I don't follow you. You still follow me on Instagram, but I'm gonna ask. Like this is the thing. We still like some folks who still don't know you don't fuck with whatever. You still follow them on social media. Explain that to me on the insanity of that. If this person, this violent person, this person has an issue with XYZ, whatever, I don't hang with him, but you still follow him on social media. You follow him on Instagram. You follow him on Facebook. You follow all these things. I don't follow people I don't fuck with. So it just like I don't do that. I don't have anybody in my circle who I don't feel comfortable around. So if this is the thing, now you want to bring up something because someone else says something? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. people go back saying, yeah, I remember he used to pick bigger boogers when he was in, freaking in kindergarten, whatever. I was in kindergarten. Like man, it's just like old stuff just from want to bring back. I'm like, it's so many years. A lot can happen within 1 year, let alone 10. And then I'm just like, who am I to hold somebody an image of them years ago? Even though let's say they might have hurt me or treat me unfairly or whatever, disrespect me in some form. I can hold a grudge for so many years. You don't even know this age we live in right now, people holding grudges. But with this, I just don't understand. These things are just not adding up, and we're not idiots. Like I come from a family in situations of domestic violence and stuff like that. Oh, my own mother, to be in fact. So I don't want to hear saying, "Oh, we're not being sensitive about this issue" or anything like that. No, we want to take this very, very seriously. However, my thing is that there is a stigma out there to attack every black male entertainer's image by all, and it being consistent that we have to have an asterisk by our name.
It is true. By the way, I'm not even saying everything these people saying is not true. Like, for instance, this next paragraph is saying he might wants to be like that dude who like makes the orders and do things like that, and he wants her just to be like his woman. That don't mean he's abusive. And then, like I said, hey, listen, somebody get mad at you, they might tell their friends anything.
Yes, right.
Like, hey, listen, he got so mad at me, he did this, and it was abusive or something. Listen, you tell your boy, yo, this woman crazy, she did this, that, and you don't really just mean it. It's just something stuff like that. So I'm not gonna say some of this is not true. I'm not even gonna say he's not a bad, like he's not a mean dude. I don't know none of that, by the way.
Right, exactly. Like, it's the same thing with the Johnny Depp situation. Like, I don't think all the things that that they were saying about Johnny was not wasn't false. Yeah, he did. Probably did do drugs. He probably was acting erratic in some things and stuff like that. But like, and we're not being naive. Like, yeah, that probably he might have done that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not just trying to say, hey, he's clean guy. I don't know the man, so I can't like defend his character. But all I'm saying is, I know this website, and we can go back to it. But I know this site, and I know how they don't check sources.
Yeah.
If you know, Roland, like I said, I ain't gonna say the word, but on campus, just look it up. 2015, they had an entire article written, and we found out that absolutely none of it was true. So if it came from a more credible source than a HitPiece website, I'm just saying. Can we get? If we continue reading, and then we'll go to this response.
Gotcha.
Okay. As they asked his legal team, as part of Major's legal team response to Rolling Stone request for comment on the abuse allegation, his attorney has sent 6 character witnesses statement from women who Majors had dated or was close with. Major's attorney noted in this statement that Rolling Stone was provided statements from Mr. Major's actual past romantic partners. That's another thing too. Like, how do y'all know that he actually dated these women? Like, we don't know that. Again, that's the problem of anonymity. And was provided statements from Mr. Major's actual past romantic partner attesting to his character and the falsifying of the charges. But Rolling Stone purposely ignored those facts and red flags and published the false charges anyway. In fact, Rolling Stone, this is them defending, they said, reached out to all 6 people. 3 say they never gave Major team permission to release such a statement. Another woman declined to share the statement credited by Major's team, saying it was pre-written, not truthful, and that she had never approved of the release. One did not respond for requests for comment. Only one woman consented to making her statement, Haley Carter, a woman who Major dated from ages 13 to 18. What? Hold on. How old is Jonathan Major?
33, I believe, yeah.
Why is he? Wait, he just running through people? Majors, as sweet, kind, and gentle, in a message drafted in late March. After 20 years of knowing him, I can tell you who Jonathan is. He did not do these things. The statement said in his part, he is the exact opposite of what these allegations say. Jonathan is the most self-controlled, disciplined, well-mannered person I know. We call him the peacekeeper. He is not violent in any way. I ain't gonna hold y'all though. I'm gonna be honest. That was a weird statement.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, that seemed very pre-written. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna be very fair. That statement, like, we call him the peacekeeper. I'm like, What? I'm just gonna be honest. That's not. If somebody pre-wrote that, it sounded very pre-written. If she didn't pre-written it, I'm not. I'm gonna be fair in this. Jedi, Mike. That sounded very. I can't hold you. Self-control, discipline, well-mannered person I know.
Yes.
We call him the peacekeeper. He is
Right.
not violent anyway. I'm
We
like,
could call him Peacemaker, but that name's been taken. But what we could do, I can say is that he exhibit a certain type of decorum and exhibit the most eloquent type of professionalism in the industry we have ever seen. You know, and I want to say also to the American people that this man, I will fully endorse him into the new film as Kang the Conqueror. So where he can take control of the multiverse. That's it.
that is so. I'm sorry. I don't know if your camp really did right. That is insane. If she just happened to say that, that is also insane because that sounded. I'm gonna be very fair. That sounded insane. Like please, if I could be like, yo, Zaya or Michael, they did back in the day. They didn't. They were quiet. They didn't talk to everybody. But yeah, but they wasn't never mean. You know, like that sound like some more. But like he's the greatest. He's the peacekeeper of the community. He kept everybody together. Like what?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. That's an L for him. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It was pervasively known that he was a good actor and that he would also would terrorize the people that he dated. Majors was born in Santa Barbara, California, but grew up in Dallas, Fort Worth. He's been open in the past interview about tumultuous adolescence, frequent moves, his dad leaving, butting heads with his stepdad, living in his car, and at least one suspension after getting into a series of scraps at school, once pulling a knife on a classmate. Acting became a refuge, an arena to grapple and redirect his emotion. The anger came from the inability to articulate my sadness, he explained in Texas Mother, which is what acting really gave me. The ability to articulate with language and nuance and with emotion and feeling. Major pursued acting in college, graduating from the University of North Carolina School of the Arts in Winston-Salem in 2012. He moved to New York and later enrolled in Yale School of Drama in fall of 2013. Administrators only selected around 15 students annually for the extremely selective 3-year program. Major presence and the passion he brought, according to his classmates, challenged those in the years to match his fervor, making them all stronger. However, it also created a highly competitive atmosphere in what was regarded as a safe space. Growing up playing football, Majors likened being at Yale to the sports team, one classmate said. I heard him say, you don't choose your teammate. You don't have to love everybody, but you do have to respect everybody. So it sounds like, hey, I might infer on this, but it do sound like some people might not like that. I'm just gonna be honest. Some people might not like it. I'm just saying, like a really aggressive dude at your job. Jedi Mike, have you ever seen a guy that you just seen like he just really aggressive at his job, and then you like, what is he doing?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, there's certain patterns of behavior that you have to understand, especially if you're in the workplace or just environment. Like, but again, you bring that up to HR, you bring that up to a bunch of situations, and whatever that job, whatever is entailing, you have to understand is that the workplace environment is very, very important. Now, when going to seeing someone very, very violent and stuff like that, you ask questions like, what they violent about? Do they have random outbursts? Do they have Tourette's out? Whatever, I don't know. Like certain things, like, okay, you can see there's a lack of emotional stability, or hey, they might be going through some mental health problems and stuff like that. Whatever, because listen, like you hearing this history and stuff like that, yeah, you can probably identify some factors, but if any of us pull our track record, we know some of us you think we're cocaine addicts. Just because where we came from, so it's just like I don't want to say someone's past kind of determined their future or how they behave, but I do see just a lot of pattern of like hard comings, and then with that create like a certain like outlet for him he needs to find in order to redirect that amount of energy, properly and not in a way that's negative. But again, there's still the whole thing about whether there have been times where I've been acting out of violence or through his passion for acting. We know that's no hero there.
Yeah, we kind of get into the college portion. We getting almost done. We just want to cover everything because people's like you leave stuff out. Y'all didn't say this. Y'all didn't say that. And by the way, we have given y'all. Hey, listen, might not be a perfect guy. We were showing it, but some of this stuff is weird. Nearly every alumni who spoke to Rolling Stone noted Major's obvious talent, dedication, drive, and the feeling was bound for greater things. His tremendous potential as an individual combined with his focus and his hard work ethic was something I expected was going to take him very far, one former schoolmate said, further describing Major as poised and kind. So, we do got somebody said he's poised and kind. There's obviously hard work and intensity, and there's fear-based intensity, explains another former graduate whose time at Yale overlapped with Major's. So then there's don't step out of line with him, just do what he says sort of thing. That's an energy and a culture around him that you really don't cross the line that he created. Wait, he's in a class. The teacher should be able to handle it. The professor should handle that. I took theater. Your professor should not let no one student dictate this class to the point where everybody fear him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not, but you had the but here's the thing, you know what's even funny? I think I forgot what talk show was. You had a white woman who taught him in college, in theater and everything, congratulating him on his success and stuff like that, and saying, you're one of my best students, and you've been, have this raw passion and everything, and I'm just so proud of you and everything like that. Wish you nothing more but great success. And there was a white woman who was teaching him. So then it's like, okay, if she's the one doing this, but then there's a white woman who's kind of in the situation that started this, kind of here or there, would talk about, hey, well, he just got women. He just got this, violence, whatever, towards women and stuff like that. When his teacher is particularly the same person, not the individual, but just in terms of type of person that he was involved with. But yeah.
Another former. This sentence guy was weird. Another former graduate whose time at Yale overlapped with Majors. Were they in this class? Did they interact with him? Why did they, these are weird things I always say about Rolling Stone articles that I don't like, because it'd be something like this. Another former graduate whose time at Yale overlapped with Majors. That doesn't mean they're a classmate. That's also a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
That bluntness and intensity, one classmate said, could become too much, with Major's behavior allegedly manifesting to several confrontations, altercations with his peer while he was acting, according to 6 Yale alumni. There's something that's there, the classmate said. Things would slip out, and you knew it came from a personal place of truth. He was working with something. They didn't say it was violent, but they did say he would probably get frustrated, which, if you like we said, coming from his childhood.
That makes sense.
When you're doing the physical scene, all the physical contact has to be agreed upon, says one schoolmate. Nothing, especially with pedagogy of that school, is to fly off the handle. His behavior was very problematic for his class, another Yale alumni said. A lot of people felt in physical danger around him, and certainly in mentally precarious positions because of him. Things reached a point where the Yale administrator once sent an email reminder about a rehearsal etiquette and violence one day after Majors was involved in a separate altercation with 2 other students, a former Yale student claimed. The 2 students did not reply to requests for comment. Hold up. Okay, so we don't know if that's true or not. But when they wrote it like that, they always make him seem like, oh, they were so scared of him. So I don't know.
Right, you so traumatized of this one black man.
Yeah, so I hate when y'all do that. I don't like this article. You could just say we couldn't get in contact with him, but he's like, the student did not reply to request for comment. Even though I understand it's journalistic etiquette. So I do know for the journalistic people in there.
Yes, right, exactly.
So I understand, but all the time it always seems very negative when you say that, because it hints at something like nefarious. Even though they might be like, I don't want to be part of this. I don't care. Like me and him got an argument, we fought, and we did what we did. Which you in high school and college, you fought before. Like, I'm just saying, people fight, you argue, especially if you're passionate. If you play sports, you 100% fought before. Maybe you didn't like a scene. Maybe you went up to him. We don't know. There's too much we don't know to infer on it. But like I said, he could just be violent. But again, he could also just got an altercation because he didn't like the way he did the scene, and he didn't like the way he did the scene, and then they just, you know what I'm saying, start pushing it. But we don't even know if they got physical. So again, it might have been the screaming match. So it's a lot inferred, but the way this article is written seemed like he was like, see, I'm not gonna lie. One of Major's schoolmates claimed Major struck him while goofing around during a short break during the rehearsal. The men had been playfully wrestling when the former schoolmate claims he put a fast surprise move on Major. When he seemed to stun him, Major responded by slapping him in the face. Taken aback, the schoolmate said that he confronted Major on why him, but Major allegedly shrugged it off and acted like it wasn't a big deal. He can be very charismatic and really gentle, like and sweet, but then he can also be very cold, scary, and violent. He was someone who could use his physicality to intimidate. Maybe you did something he didn't like. I don't like again. You tell he did a move. I didn't. Did you accidentally elbow him in the face or something? Again,
Right.
like it's too much to it. And I don't like. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's like this is why I hate about articles like this. Again, we don't know.
Listen, you're
I
right.
don't know
Yeah, listen.
what connects it. What move did you do?
Right. There was absolutely no reason for them to post this article. All it did was just to stir more um a gasoline to the fire because of that win, or at least what he got yesterday were about probable cause. They want to bring this BS up, right? And they can't pinpoint anybody about in terms of making comment. And also now this point is all hearsay. You can't say you have details about the exact story and then yet you can't get the person to actually make a statement. That makes no sense.
What was the move he did? Did you do it? Was it something simple or did you
Right,
like
and it's not, and
elbow him in the
also
face and he
like
didn't
you
like it, so
gonna
he
say
beat you
like
back?
these number of movies, like okay, listen, like are any films that we know that you say any co-stars are not aware of this from happening? You know, producers, directors, like all this stuff. It just I'm just saying again now. It was one thing to say about having a lack of emotional control and being like, hey, violent or whatever, or outbursts and stuff. I mean, I had issues with anxiety sometimes. Sometimes I'd just be hyperventilating or whatever. I might, and then at my past, whatever, getting very like manic in some cases and stuff. But what I'm saying is that you can be all those things, but not be literally beating the crap out of somebody and strangling them. But to say that you have problems as an individual doesn't mean that you are a abuser. That I just don't think that many of us have our own individual problems personally in our lives. But if that outright just passes out, and saying that we're not worth the damn, but in the cases like this or whatever, like, oh yeah, there might have been factors of him being my violent, whatever. There's factors of all of us being some type if we really want to, be honest. But I think there's some cases in this, like reading this, like and just knowing him, like, hey, I think he might have issues with anger, which is okay. Because I mean, he's on a journey. He's 33, still technically young, So
Yeah, I want to go over. I want to do this thing. He pulled a fast surprise moves on me. We seemed to stun him. Why would it stun him? Like, did you
right,
elbow him? Did you accidentally hit? Because if I tell a story, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna make myself look better.
right,
And then I'm like, yo, he hit me.
right.
Like I did a move and I pulled a fast one. He seemed stunned. Why was he stunned? And then he hit me back. And then you're like, ah, it's all right. We didn't hit each other. Now we good. But I don't like when you say stuff like that again. It
Where's your credibility on that?
Yeah, I'm like, what move did he do? Can we get a full story? Because like I said, like sometimes you'll tell a story that's make me look good and make you look bad. Like, oh, I just thought I did something simple. Maybe I did a move that he didn't like or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. He could, like I said, he could be outright, but again, we don't know because this is like you didn't ask any follow-up question.
And it's different from also the Bill Cosby situation, right? Because the women had no problem putting their name out there. They were going on talk shows. They're doing all these other things and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna get on talk shows and do about this, I'm like, okay, I give you credit for that. But still, what this is like, you saying you refuse to not be showing yourself in public and everything after one of this incident and everything. It just does not make any sense. People, the core public opinion, we are very quick to blame and put the fault on somebody. We don't read anymore. We don't read. We don't understand context clues. We don't actually comprehend a situation. Like, oh yeah, it was him. Oh no, it was her. All this stuff like that, and then we were also trying to when we're having communication with each other, when we're trying to retell the events that happened, we like to retell things that goes in our favor because we're human beings. So that's a given. But yeah.
The incident alarmed his peers enough that they voiced their concerns to the administration several times and told school officials that they felt unsafe right now. Okay, did you get a complaint? One complaint stemmed from Majors allegedly telling the women of his class that they didn't match the caliber or tenacity of the men. Well, what?
Can you repeat that one more time?
One complaint stemmed from Majors allegedly telling the women of his class that they didn't match the caliber or tenacity of the men.
I don't understand that.
It's a stupid point that didn't have to be in this article. He's like, hey, one complaint he had, he told the women they weren't good as the men, so they got upset. Like, maybe were they? Were they good as the men in the acting class?
So what? Are we trying to say he's a misogynist now?
Yeah, listen, we're gonna add that in. However, no action was apparently taken. Former Yale graduate claimed that in addition to student complaints, professors and administrators were also aware of Major's disruptiveness in the classroom because instructors saw it firsthand. Yale instructors who were present during the alleged incidents did not respond to requests for comment. Again, you saying people saw it, did not request. A spokesperson for the program declined to comment on any specific allegations about Major behavior, but said Yale is committed to preserving the confidentiality and integrity of course, that no school is gonna ever give you like if that case, we can just go bring up anybody's high school problems and then try to paint a picture of them.
Right. Or in college. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I don't think this part is that part ain't important. Just tell them about what Major said in this men's health interview, so y'all can read that if y'all want
About
to.
what masculinity and everything. When
Yeah.
and listen, there's also another thing too that you have to identify this that during that time when Creed came out, he got a lot of flack for also the whole by his masculinity. So it was
No
already
flamingo. Yeah.
there was already a downward slope of people trying to just find something to put it on this person, whatever, because he has a successful movie coming out and he's been killing it. 3 movies back to back: Devotion, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and then Creed. All the things just back to back to back. He was killing it. Then they have a commercial of him in the army, and then they had to pull that down. Like this dude was going upward trajectory, and then all of a sudden this situation happened, and we're trying to get to the root of this because hopefully, just as similar to the Amber Heard case and everything, that we let time and tell, and then we want to actually put faith in our judicial system and everything like that. Hopefully we can, get to the bottom of what did happen, what not happened and stuff. Especially if one goes to trial, then we actually can see what's going on with these, what witness statements and video footage and stuff. Because I will say his attorney, I appreciate her, going into the public and trying to fight the naysayers and everything like that. But also that it also can damage the reputation too, because it's like, hey, listen, let the court see you have the evidence and all this stuff. Don't be that reactionary on social media, because then just like you are going to win when you present those facts in during court. And which you have your trial coming in on August, but still, I just think that don't try to be reactionary in a way where it's like it's gonna be damaging to your image because this was racism or no this is this whatever. Like we have an evidence that presented that this man is innocent. And then once we go through the process of presenting that evidence to court and have probable cause this woman was actually the abuser, then we can proceed with that. And then the public perception they can deal with the evidence, and hopefully the final decision will be in our favor.
Yeah. Most of the rest of this is like Karen stuff. The production team apparently somebody accused him of pushing a member, but the production boss said he did not push nobody. He just yelled, which I'm saying he could just be an angry person, or he could method act, and he could be in character. I do not know. It doesn't give him the right to should be able to do that, but that doesn't mean he's violent. he could be angry, and by the way, it could mean he's violent anyway. But the article doesn't present any facts or any of this. And like I said, by the way, he might just be a mean, grumpy dude who people don't like. So they're happy to tell you every time they file a complaint against him. So, like, I'm not saying he's a great dude by any stretch because I don't know him personally to be a character witness. And I'm not going to do a character witness on somebody I don't know. But at the same time, I see nothing in this article. This article is just basically made to try to make him look bad.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And they had a few people in him. Production manager told him that they told him and he was sad that he did it, or he yelled at somebody. He was mortified that they felt that way because he felt he was in character and he didn't know it came off that way. Again, I like this one. It's Like again, if I'm your boss, you're not finna yell at me. I don't care how famous you are. I don't. Maybe I'm built different because I'm from maybe where you from. I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta chill. I know you method acting, but you can't be yelling at people on this set. Like, we not finna have this environment of you doing this. And it seemed like nobody wanted to step up in this case if it is true that he's thing. But like I said, most of this is mostly people just saying he's really mean, and that's one of the big things I see.
Yeah, but I mean, again, a lot of this is really sounding like,
emotional damage.
Like a lot of it kind of feeling like these things are adding up. But to say again, saying someone's a violent person, like you have that incident with that just said, oh yeah, he was pushing somebody, but the director or whatever saying he didn't push anybody. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
They admitted he did yell, but they said he didn't push nobody. Nobody ever said. I was there.
But then I'm saying, why would you add that in the article when it's not in your favor of saying if it's all for saying, oh yeah, he did all these to these people? I'm like, you just said that someone said he did something, and then yet the director said no, they didn't. Yes. In your own article to defame this person, you put a claim out there that was not true, and also we went back on it when you explained, oh yeah, it was the director who said he didn't push him. So then what are we doing?
Yeah, I hate articles like this because again, you did it in 3 months. I have not seen any questions asked about any of these situations. Apparently, no one in these situations talked. None of the people he allegedly fought with or engaged in talked. None of the women talked. They might be scared again. I have no clue. But again, no one spoke. So this article is kind of weird when you can't have no one speak on the incident. Because they could have been anonymous too, by the way.
Right.
Apparently, he has had 12 girlfriends, and one of them he dated from 2013, 2018. so I'm like, and okay, so basically,
like I honestly would like to hear the comments from his baby mother because he does have a daughter.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm interested in a lot. I'm like, if y'all couldn't get any information, and y'all, it seemed I asked in the question, did I make HitPiece or expose? I'm gonna lean to a hit. It's gonna lean to a HitPiece. Right. I'm leaning to a HitPiece because I'm like, okay, you never asked no questions. You never asked if they had a problem with him, why they had a problem with it. He was just me. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody not nice. I'm sorry.
Well, this is what you also have to understand this too, because this is, I think you and I both come from the perspective that we're in this space and that, public, not public perception, but more importantly, we'll call media language as well is very, very important, or like linguistic style in terms of like how we are able to communicate properly when, with stories, citing sources and citing, claims and rumors are not true, even if it's not something with abuse. Like someone's in this set movie, where did it come from? Oh, it come from Cosmic movie site, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's not really, legit movie site. Well, if it came from the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, the two juggernauts in this space, yeah, there's some validity to it. We're asking about who XYZ might be in this movie or whatever, and then you saying director, no, this is not true. We have to have a bigger responsibility in terms of when we're in the space and entertainers and everything. We have to have a what you call a strong responsibility in terms of our credibility as journalists. I'm in it, and I'm just saying anything I'm wrong about, whether it might be just like, hey, this person got cast in this movie, and that was not true. That's still damaging in terms of my credibility as a
Fantastic Four have had it a lot.
Listen, don't even. I've not made a damn video about the Fantastic Forecasting because all of a sudden we hear, oh, Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, oh, we got Mila Kunis up in this bitch. And then now she isn't. Oh, but she knows who's in it, but we can't know who isn't. Oh, also 2 days ago, hey, the Fantastic Forecast is gone. They quit. They just dropped their roles and stuff.
We don't know clue if it's true or not. We just heard it from some reporter.
Right. Yeah.
And then I see fans get upset because they're like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. And I'm tired. They need to make up their mind. Like, bro, they haven't said anything.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch Kevin. By the way, we did say I do like the Kevin one, but he does.
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does do this. I'm not gonna lie. I think but I do love you, my guy. But my guy, you do this. I get it though. Get that YouTube chick. You know, that do drive you, but you do this. I can't do it. I did report that Adam Driver was allegedly one. I even said in that video, I have no clue if he is. That we don't know. I don't know. I ain't spoke to no one, but it's reported that. And then I'm like, once it start getting crazy, I'm like, I'm not reporting all this because y'all really don't know.
Right, right, exactly.
I
There's so many, every name in every 2 weeks, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna wait till you say so. I'm going to Comic-Con. Interviewing for press and stuff. Marvel will not be there. So, and I think because of the whole Jonathan Major situation, the fact that your biggest or villain or in the next Avengers title, you have we're still in the middle of this case and stuff. I think it's best for them to actually skip out on this. Also, with the writer's strike and everything, there's a lot of things happening where, in terms of PR stance, Marvel really need to take a back seat on this, moving in the next couple of months.
Shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Deadpool 3 got done filming in like 6-7 weeks, even according to Ryan Reynolds. I saw him saying, "Hey, we almost done." Not quite done, but that's a good sign to me. That means they killed it.
Here you have to understand this. There have been reports before we get into the video. Yeah. There have also been reports saying that with Deadpool 3, when all the release dates of films got pushed, for example, like we got other movies getting pushed to Avengers, King Dynasty, Secret Wars, Fantastic Four, all the other Disney Plus shows been delayed to 2026, 2025. Yeah. But surprisingly, Deadpool actually moved up. So we're actually getting Deadpool in a year from now, literally, next May. So it's and he, even though we have the with the writer's strike, he can't improvise lines or anything, but he definitely can ad lib, once the strike and everything goes past through. But I'm like, with Deadpool 3, everything looked like it's sounding good. So I was like, hey,
the fact they got filming, that means they didn't have no problems on set. So that's a good thing. Right. I want to know if everybody can, let me know if y'all can hear this. I'm going to make sure.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder.
Yeah, hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, so we're going to Cosmic Wonder broke down on Jonathan Major's response statement. Let's review it.
I'm Warren Thompson, and the other day, Rolling Stone released a massive article about Jonathan Majors. It was an investigative report into people who knew and had worked with Jonathan Majors in the past, and Rolling Stone talked with over 40 different people. There were many different claims in this, although everybody who stated anything about Jonathan Majors chose to remain anonymous. And at the same time, the people who were being reported on, Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriends, also refused to comment and not want to take part in any of the investigation that Rolling Stone was doing. However, the report did have many claims, including one claim that Jonathan Majors on the set of Devotion and Magazine Dreams said that Jonathan Majors would act violently on the set of Devotion and so-called abuse people on the set of Magazine Dreams. Well, Jonathan Majors' lawyer has published why people are reporting this, stating that it's completely false that he was actually behaving violently personally towards them, and also, of course, denies that he ever touched or harmed anybody on any set. And this was briefly mentioned in that Rolling Stone article. However, I think a lot of people don't truly know what it means. But in response to the Rolling Stone article, Jonathan Majors...
That did, Jeremiah, I do want to go over that part. They did say that, but they didn't even say personally. They just said on set he was me. Which, if I misconstrue, that could just mean he was acting. By the way, his character in Devotion, I think, is
he's a black man in a military full of white folks and feeling racism. Yeah, I can say I don't fuck with you. Like, if I want to be full immersed in my character.
Yeah, I'm saying they didn't even say it was outside. They said on set. So I'm like, so was he? Like, what does that mean? Like, I wonder what. That's why I also want to know what they asked too. Because the way they word things could be very interesting.
Yeah.
So I do want to know what they had. We can get back in the video, but I do want to know, Jed, I'm like, what did they ask you and why did you say that? Because I hate articles that they don't ask what they don't say what they asked. Because people said this. I'm like, how did you write this? Right? How did you word the question?
Listen. There's a whole thing about with clickbaits and views that they have to do because there are journalists, they have to do their job. It's better for me to exaggerate the truth than to tell it.
So we will continue, but that was interesting when I did read that. They were like, on set, he was aggressive as his role. and he was very aggressive and scary to people. I'm like, so he was intimidating in his role, which he's supposed to be intimidated at, or was it he was personally being intimidated because y'all didn't clarify?
Right.
So that was a good point that I made. Cause I did tell you I did go over it, but I didn't go over that specific point when I read because I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long just reading every sentence.
Attorney
Right.
Justin Push issued a statement to IndieWire.com in response to these additional accusations, stating, Jonathan Majors vehemently denies Rolling Stone's false allegations that he
Vehemently.
physically, verbally, or emotionally abused anyone, let alone any of his past romantic partners. The allegations that Mr. Majors got physical with or physically intimidated anyone on any movie set are downright false. Anyone who has worked with Mr. Majors knows that he employs an immersive method acting style. And while that can be misconstrued as rudeness at times, those who know Mr. Majors and work in the industry have attested to his dedication to his craft as
We gotta try to shout at that. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Jedi Mike. I was like, but it still doesn't give him the right to act out in that way. You know what I mean? It doesn't give him the right to be rude to somebody or anything like that, like that. We can continue the videos back up. We done got past the ad.
Now, for those unaware, this is something that needs to be explained and understood. And this is in regards to what method acting is. And it's really important for this case, for these accusations against him. Method acting is when an actor basically becomes the character that they are playing, meaning in their minds, they aren't playing a character. They're not playing a role. They're not shooting a movie. They are the character themselves, and they never break out of character. So anytime they're on set, in between scenes, on a break, speaking to the crew, speaking to really anybody, the director, their assistant, they are still that character. They are not Jonathan Majors, but they are the character that Jonathan Majors has become. But those are my own words. Let's look into how the Nashville Film Institute defines method acting. On their official website, they state, we have all seen actors completely immerse themselves in their characters to the point where they transport us to another time and place. And for some of us, that's why we go to the movies. What is method acting? Method acting is a technique that performers employ to empathize with the characters they are portraying emotionally. In this technique, the actor becomes the character and frequently remains in the role for a long.
Can you pause it right now?
The actors are.
So basically, what he's playing in terms of method acting again is going to the technique of actors actually becoming the character than just reading lines when the director says action and then cut. For example, we have Jared Leto, who played the Joker in Suicide Squad. He exhibited the things of method acting because he was actually terrorizing the cast members as the Joker and sending them like rats and other stuff and weird gifts and stuff to the cast and stuff. He sent Margot Robbie a rat and everything like that. So those are things because again, he didn't being the Joker. That's him just still being embodying that character. So that's just an example for y'all.
Heath Ledger as well. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Even though some of them cases might not be the greatest thing.
Yeah.
But you got to admit the results do work because he.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Jack Sparrow he might have became an alcoholic for real, but Jack Sparrow was an incredible actor.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, nobody else can be Jack Sparrow ever.
No, never. That's his character. That's his role, yeah.
Urged to feel the true sentiments they require in each scenario rather than compartmentalize and fake them. This can cause psychological and behavioral changes for as long as they are in the position. The website also does state the actor must be ready to go through emotional trauma if they opt for method acting. So there you have it. These actors become the characters, kind of shedding their actor skin, and instead, in their minds, they are that character. And many famous, high-praised, critically acclaimed actors do this or have used method acting in the past.
There you go. Heath Ledger, Jared Leto said it.
Robert De Niro, Heath Ledger, Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, Jim Carrey, some of the great ones, but also at the same time, some of the actors that have used method acting have suffered that emotional trauma that the National Film Institute spoke about, like Heath Ledger, or Shia LaBeouf. And I'm sure even the ones I mentioned before have suffered emotional trauma as well, as it is a very hard thing to do, method acting. But the main point of explaining this is because this is what Jonathan Majors' team is stating was the reason for the behavior on set. Basically stating that anytime Majors was on set, he was completely immersive with method acting. So anytime anyone talked to him, he was the character. He wasn't Jonathan Majors, but he was the character that he was playing. So in any given situation or conversation, he was acting as the character would. He responded like he thought the character would. And for the Sundance film, Magazine Dreams, the producers allegedly warned production members to stay away from Jonathan Majors due to his method acting technique. So they knew what was going on. They knew how Jonathan Majors was. They knew how he was becoming the character, and they knew how the character was. So in this statement released to IndieWire, Jonathan Majors' lawyer and his whole team and him essentially are stating these claims about him behaving violently or emotionally abusive on these sets were him being a method actor. And in some cases, like Magazine Dreams, the entire production, the cast and the crew were warned about how he was behaving because he was method acting. Now, obviously, this does not give him the right to simply go out and start abusing people or punching people in the face, which is not what anybody is claiming he did. But the point is, it doesn't give him the right to simply abuse people. But this is a very well-known technique. So when working with a method actor, you have to realize this is what is going on. They are responding to me the way a character that they're playing would. And this is sort of a response to the people who said they worked with him at Yale as well, because Jonathan Majors has been an immersive actor for some time now, including when he was studying it and learning about it. And yeah, people have said some bad things about method actors before, stating that they are just so hard to work with. In fact, Will Smith had a lot of things to say about Jared Leto working with him in the Suicide Squad. He said that he never even really met Jared Leto until way after the movie was done. And Jared Leto admitted that he went full Joker. He sent the cast members gifts, which weren't actually gifts, but he would send them dead rats. He would send them
Jedi Mike already. Jedi Mike already said.
He never broke character. He never went out of his character, even in his own personal life at his home.
I got that.
I know my shit.
Sent, we can't just skip over that. Yeah. You gotta use condom. What do you say? What do you think? You say Jared has gone full Joker. Jared, he went full Joker. And the rule generally is never go full Joker. Never go full Joker. But he went all. Why'd you go full Joker? You never go back. Never go back.
So as crazy as it sounds, actors do this, and a lot of great performances have come out of actors doing method acting. And this is a
don't show Mandria that
from Majors' they are simply stating he wasn't mean, he was in character. He wasn't abusive, he was simply behaving as the character would. And in some cases, the production did warn the crew that that's how he is, that's what he's doing. Now, again, I'm sure people can take it too far, but that is probably one of the biggest reasons people have said that he's actually very hard to work with. And as his lawyer stated, everyone who has worked with Mr. Majors knows that he employs an immersive method acting style. And while that can be misconstrued as rudeness at times, those who know Mr. Majors and work in the industry have attested to his dedication to his craft as well as his kindness. And it is interesting that nobody who's really worked with him recently has come out and really said anything about him. Anthony Mackie was the only person to come out and say something who hasn't really worked with him before, and he just came out and stated that he was innocent until proven guilty. So in response to the allegations that Jonathan Majors was intimidating and behaved violently and was rude on sets, and perhaps back in college when he was studying film, this is the response to that. He wasn't behaving rudely, according to his team. He was simply immersing himself as the character with method acting. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below.
By the way, we can end it. But by the way, I think the kids in Yale all said that too as we read through. They were like, yo, he's gonna be great because he's so immersed, but it's hard to work with. Which, by the way, I do not have any doubt that if somebody does method acting, we've heard from all the accounts, even Al Pacino, they're like, okay, he's
difficult to work with. Robert De Niro, like Jared Leto, like Jared Leto, like you have to understand, we get upset the fact that these actors are actually doing their job and playing these roles, these characters. Now, I'm not saying that just because you're doing your job doesn't mean that subjugate to someone being abused or being disrespected or anything like that. However, in terms of the roles that they're taking and everything, whether even not just mentally but also physically. Like you saw a picture with Christian Bale, like he will change his weight, whole body chemistry for a role just like that, right? And that takes a lot of skill. And I cannot say for all the people at Yale who had something to say about Jonathan Majors, but then say he can be great. You would not be saying that to somebody who's actually an asshole. Like you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that to someone saying like who legit is a bad person. That's someone say, you know what? I'm not be friends with you, but I respect you. Which that's most people in the industry. That's how we prosper, And like I said, going to what Zelme was saying, I agree that I don't think all the things that that coming out in these stories are not true. I mean, yeah, I think he probably does have an issue from his background. And if you read it from his bio, he's not denying that he suffered loss from his father, and then he living in his car and all stuff like that. That messes people up in the head. But again, I'm not saying we're subjugating anyone to abuse, but the saying now over 9 people of these situations over one, again, to this date, today, what at the tape of this stream, July 2nd, there's only been one woman in this case that had her first and last name out in the public eye. And even then, we have reports saying that she recanted her statements. So still, there's still things going on here, and only time will tell. I actually hope that they go to trial, have same thing what Depp did. I think also other rappers did, like Gunna or I don't know if it was Gunna or some other rappers that were in a murder trial. Or what happened? Was it Travis Rudolph, whatever his name was?
Oh, you talking about Travis Rudolph?
Yeah. When we watched that trial up, like that saved his public perception too. Come like, nah, like you seen her on stand saying those things and stuff like that. Everyone knew she was lying, but I actually think that would be beneficial for him, just as with Johnny Depp. Like currently right now, what Johnny Depp needs right now, he needs Tim Burton to put him in the next Beetlejuice 2 movie, and some role or something to bring him back in the public eye. Right, he slowly come back. Amber is gone. Yeah, we got Aquaman 2, but she's gone. With Jonathan Majors, I think it's gonna take some time for him to slowly come back to the public eye. But for his favor, I hope we actually can see the actual trial and everything going on, and see the witness statements and stuff like that as people are streaming on YouTube, and that actually going to benefit him in the long run, which I think that's what he asked. When he appeared like a few weeks ago, he asked, "Hey, can we move the trial with this and stuff?" So, yeah. So I think only time will tell with that.
All right, Jedi Mike. Before we get here, I do have one question. We asked a question in the title in the comment: HitPiece or expose? Which one will you feel?
It's HitPiece. HitPiece.
I feel the same way. It's a
again,
it lacks too much information for it to ever be a true expose. Not saying that, like I said, we're not saying what this is, but you just got like, oh, I was playfully playing with him, and then I did a move and stunned him, and then he hit me. Like, okay, what move did you do? Like, did you not ask any follow-up questions? Did you not ask what class? What did he do in class or anything? Like, it wasn't any specifics. It was just like, oh, he was mean. A lot of like he was emotionally abusive. I'm like, okay, what did he do? Like, you can ask follow-up. I'm pretty sure you can ask follow-up. Like, what did you see them do? Like, one time she told me he strangled her. Oh, did you? Okay. What did you see any weird behavior? Can you express it? No, none of that. It just okay. He said he strangled her. Okay. Then just go on and just put in an article. Probably should have took more than 3 months, but we know why they put it out 3 months, because the trial coming out next month, and he just put this out. So of course, if you know YouTube or content creation, the hot time to we put this out right now because it's a hot time to put this out. Let's just be honest. But I just want to know. I just want to read the article for y'all, see what y'all think, how y'all feel, HitPiece or expose. Y'all let us know in the comment section. And I just wanted to know. Like, I just wanted to know, how did y'all feel? Was this a HitPiece or was it expose? They put it out right now. They could have put this out. They could have did actual work and put this out 3-4 months from now, ask follow-up questions, all that. But no, they put it out with this information right now because it's hot right now. He was hiding it. His name was hot, and they put it out. Simple, it's for clicks. And I think it's more of a HitPiece than expose. Not saying it's wrong, but again, I don't think they did due diligence into actually doing it. Shout out to Shaw in the chat.
But yeah, I like, and this is also another thing too. Rolling Stone, again, I just mentioned names like the Hollywood Reporter, the Variety. These type of news outlets do not get their information wrong, and they're juggernauts in this space for a reason. But Rolling Stone, other folks like that, like those are things like them over recorded time have uh been perpetuating false information. And again, we're not going to say that for YouTube sensitivity, but stories that years ago, back in 2015, that they were absolutely right or wrong for putting that. And again, and I can end off with with this saying with Denzel Washington when he said is that you read the new if you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. Today in media outlets and stuff, we're not focusing on being right or telling the truth. We're focused on being the first. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, whether right or wrong or right. We're just gonna, if we're the first to get the news out there, then first to send it out, whatever they believe. Anything you train, you get good at, especially bullshitting.
Yeah, if y'all don't believe me, they had an article in 2001 about a certain drug, about people overdosing on it, which wasn't true. By the way, the drug don't work, so I'm not one of those people that'd be like, "Oh, this will fix you." I'm not Joe Rogan. So that will not fix you, but also people weren't overdosing on it. They got
psychedelics.
Yeah, yeah. We can't say that. We know we can't talk about that on YouTube, so we ain't gonna talk about that certain subject. But it was a certain drug Joe Rogan was telling people to take, and Rolling Stone quickly put out an article talking about that it was people with overdosing. That turned out not to be true. They had a case in 2020 about a retracted article they did in Virginia. If y'all want to read that up,
yeah,
they have. It's a case in 2018. Like I'm just saying, they have retracted all of these stories because again, they didn't do their due diligence in doing it. So of course, I'm a little hesitant to when somebody does it a lot. Now, if somebody like Wall Street Journal, if they report it, I'm like, oh yeah, they've been on this.
Yeah, right.
They've been on this. Even if it's rejected, they're gonna have a full length story about everybody that said they're gonna have their whole story, ask questions, what we asked them, what they didn't. But
yeah. Why do you feel about Anthony Mackie being the only actor from Marvel actually speaking on this?
They not. That's not something they do.
Well,
they they not. And shout out to Anthony Mackie for actually being like, hey, listen, I'll speak on it. But they don't. They don't talk. Disney I'm sorry, y'all. Disney do got that. Hey, shut your mouth. I don't want y'all defending or lose because y'all know how Disney is. That's why Disney haven't said nothing on it. They're like, hey, if he lose this case, he gone. And I don't want none of y'all a part of it. If he win this case and y'all said something negative about it, it's gonna be a problem between you and him. So Anthony Mackie said in the middle. So that Disney done already sent the word out. Listen, either you gonna have to work with him and he found innocent. That's what I'm saying. Right. Either they gonna have to work with him and he's proven innocent and it's a problem, or he's proven guilty and y'all done sat there and defended him, and then in the case he's guilty and then this is a problem.
I will say, I'm saying this where the case where this is going, I think a lot of people are gonna offer him an apology.
I do too. I'm just saying it. By the way, it does not look good. If everything they say, if all the people, some random woman that was hugging him and saw him getting the coat ripped off of him, and then they got video camera of her ripping the coat off of him, and then they got video. The insider is not somebody that just. I'm just saying the insider is not somebody who would just believe somebody. But when the insider is like, yo, these tapes. These tapes look very innocent.
I don't even understand what the whole thing was when she went to the club. I seen some people in the comments like, "Oh yeah," because people tell you must act normal. Woman, how is acting normal serves your case? No, seriously. Even then, folks like, hey, if someone yells at you, whatever, my thing was Steve Harvey made a joke about this. It's like, you want to get someone away from you, whatever, just scream, whatever, rip your sleeve and stuff off, just scream like, oh my god, you got me, whatever, right? You being acting ballistic and everything actually serves you, because then it's like, hey, what's going on here? But she's like, in the video, she's asking 20 times, what happened? What just happened? Why is my arm and like this? Okay, blah blah. But then you go into the club.
I I do want to say, Great Pill, Disney would. Hey, listen, Disney
Oh
gonna do
no,
the one thing.
no.
Disney's gonna tell everybody to shut up, don't say nothing. We don't know nothing. We didn't see nothing. Didn't happen. We trying to get money on both ways.
And with Johnny, it's just a matter of time. They just need some time because this mess just happened last summer. So
I also did hear they might be offering him a country. So that's the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. That is a rumor somebody reported. We do not have any case of any actual evidence of any of that.
yeah. But no, yeah, only that because I know Amber Heard, she's out of the country. She's in Mexico or something like that, or and stuff like that. But yeah, it's ridiculous though. But I'll just say this: I pray this John, evidence presented stuff that he didn't do it. Cause and screw a movie. Forget it doesn't matter about a movie. It's not about no damn movie or some damn show on Disney Plus, whatever. It's just about a person's career, and just about integrity. And if you did this or did not right, the court of public opinion right now needs to be redirected. What Anthony Mackie said was everything but true. But as a culture, we said like, listen, he said in his comment, I'm so confused how our culture is right now. This Purdue is not guilty of anything, and this trial is still going on. And once the case goes through, then we go through. It was exactly what happened when Johnny Depp, got a standing ovation for one of his films. And then a reporter asked, I think it was for Fast and Furious, to ask Brie Larson, who's like a very big feminist activist and stuff like that, saying, how do you feel about Johnny Depp getting a standing ovation? Like, well, I haven't seen that, whatever, but, whatever. Once I see that, and, I really have no comment on that.
Disney got her a check too, and not pretend.
Right,
By the way, people that say Disney is like Disney tells everyone to be quiet on everything. People are like, oh, they'll tell the Republicans to be quiet. No, they fired Jamel Hill literally because she wouldn't stop talking about Trump. They don't like none of this. They are like, yo, keep us out of it.
Gina, she definitely was building up for what she was doing. Like, nah, on Twitter. It's like, nah. She got a whole show canceled because of her. They were going to hand to her, but no.
Listen, Disney doesn't like people to cause problems. And now Bob Iger's back. Bob Chapek was kind of leaning toward more liberal side. Bob Iger said, yo, shut up, all of it.
Even like, hey, I'll give you one better. James Gunn. Because they don't discriminate by, political party, because James Gunn was a very, very hard, liberal. And go on Twitter, going on Trump and everything like that. But then when they went and go get those tweets that he made, years ago, they fired him, right? But then also, got apology and everything, and then they hired him back to do the film Guardians again, and we will act like it never happened.
I'm just saying, Disney doesn't like to be involved in drama because they like, yo, y'all, they do the Michael Jordan, everybody buy my shoe. Everybody buy my shoe. By the way, I did see Great Past Disney is falling. Disney, I know people like to say Disney is failing because Disney Plus is not doing well. They are not failing, by the way. If you look at how much their parks make, they are nowhere near failing. Nah. Their parks is number one. And then it's the movies number two. Let's not forget that
toys.
Toys might be second, but
because you got no.
And then you got the movie. Let's not forget, like Guardians of the Galaxy didn't just make 900 million, and Doctor Strange just made 900 million. They beat the Flash in the first week, both of the movies. So I don't. So they are doing very well. I'm just saying, like Disney Plus was what they did was stupid, and I will say this before we get. What they did was they could have said, "Hey, here $100 million. Let's go find a bunch of what Netflix did at the beginning. You know what Netflix when they were finding indie people."
Yeah.
Instead, they went for all blockbuster movies, and they had them all come back to back to back. And I'm like, how y'all gonna afford this with this set $5.99 price? You have to pay this. You got Samuel Jackson on a 6-part movie on a 6-part TV deal. There is no way you're making that back off this.
Right, and also the ratings of that show, whatever. At least the viewership is going down on that, but it's regardless of that, it doesn't matter. Like for example, what happened with Miss Marvel? They didn't need Miss Marvel to make a lot of money, because at that time there was 3 shows that was happening when they released that. They had Obi-Wan Kenobi happening the same time as Miss Marvel, Stranger Things season 3, or season 4. you had The Boys season 3. Yeah, season 3 at the same time, whatever. Then following right after that, you had, I believe, what else would they have? Then you were going right into She-Hulk. So it was just the when they were releasing that at that time, it was absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is, Marvel does not need that to succeed when they have other IP in their belt, making that money and their profits and stuff.
But while as long as that park is there, they not feeling that part.
Yeah,
and by the way,
Avengers Campus, all this stuff. Yeah, it's.
And you saw when they got in the fight with DeSantis, they said, we'll move. And the first people that all the Mississippi, North Carolina, like, hey, we'll take you. We will put you right here. Do you know how much money they make Florida?
Right.
They make Florida a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if they actually the hard part is moving and they don't want to do that. But if they had to, everybody taking them for that tech, they'll give them a sweet deal.
Right.
Mississippi put them right on the coast. North Carolina, South Carolina got a Republican. He's like, yo, we'll take y'all. What you mean? You know how much money that state make because of that?
Right.
Florida would become just Miami if you took it out. That's all. It'd be just straight Miami and nothing else. You would not need to go to Tampa. You would not need to go to Orlando. The Little League World Series already said they'll pull out if Disney World. That's the whole reason they go, because Disney World there. Universal will leave too, because Universal not going to stay there without Disney World. I'm just being honest. If we look at Universal not staying there without Disney World.
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right.
So as long as they're making money, Disney don't care, and they're trying to stay out of politics as much as they can. Mm-hmm. Bob Chapek didn't, but he gone now. So
he gone now.
I just like Bob Chapek because if y'all don't know who Bob Chapek is, Bob Chapek was the guy over the parks, and I always hated how the parks were ran.
Yeah, he was right. He was right before. He was the CEO of Disney right before Bob Iger came back and actually take that, and he was actually kind of fired.
He was terrible.
He was terrible because he was running to the freaking ground, especially when it came to streaming services. Like, for example, they had a lawsuit that was going with Scarlett Johansson with Black Widow. They reached a settlement because of the whole putting the movie into streaming while also having the movie in theaters, and that she get a certain amount of income when the movie theatrical release. But because you put that movie in streaming, it didn't matter. So and then that was the only one film they ever done that where they put the theater that had the wide release of a film theatrically, and then they have it on a streaming service at the same time. Warner Brothers did that, and you see where they are right now. That was a failure what they did for 2020, having all those movies on HBO Max. It sounded good for us, but yeah, they lost a lot of money on that.
Yeah, Bob Iger was the CEO during the whole run of Iron Man through Endgame.
Then he retired. Yes, he stepped down, and all of a sudden after that, Bob Iger came back.
Yeah, because Bob Chapek is there. Bob Chapek before that was also he the guy who ran the parks, and I hated him then too.
Yeah. No, I would tell you that the way they've been running their Star Wars
it's better now, a lot better.
Is absolutely horrible. The Star Wars Land and everything, and Galaxy Edge and stuff, horrible. Yeah, so it's like, you can look online just from the experiences people got, even getting tickets and everything. Like
it was terrible. Have you been lately? It's a lot better since he's been gone.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah, they have like a whole machine that you got that can just do it. You don't have to wait in this long line where you be sweating all day, bro. It's so much better since Bob Chapek been fired.
Yeah,
life is better since Bob Chapek been fired.
Mm-hmm. My paycheck. That's what he's trying to do. But yeah, we see.
By the way, y'all can answer in the comments. HitPiece or expose? Let us know.
Yeah. I know you want to drop the link or.
Let's see. I didn't check. Oh, I ain't even connected to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can follow me over on that media. I'll be that news. A lot of people in the chat I see already follow us. So, but
yeah,
the link is in the description.
Yeah. I have, so we have the link in the description and everything like that. But,
if you talking about Disney Plus, they 100% follow. But
yeah,
if you just talking about the TV, they follow. It's not. She-Hulk was terrible.
Oh yeah, and I know we're gonna talk about Secret Invasion, whatever. I don't know what. Well, episode 2 came out last week and stuff, but. It's the problem. I think the problem is that you're using a massive comic book storyline, and yet you don't have no major Avengers in the show, which that's the whole base of Secret Invasion. Nobody gives a crap about they trying to do this whole thing, and I'll give this to Samuel Jackson, whatever, and make something out of it. Nah. So
if you ask me how I feel about it, the problem I have with Secret Invasion is there was no lead up. I think the show is actually really good. It just don't feel like it just felt random and just thrown in.
Oh yeah, no. I listen. That scene you saw episode 2, right?
Yeah.
Then that scene with Rhodey and Nick Fury and the dinner table and stuff. That was some good acting.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I thought that was good, but I'm just saying like okay.
It felt thrown in like it's no build up.
And then afterwards, when it's done, it's like oh yeah, it's whatever.
Like yeah, I'm like you could have had scroll. All you had to do was have people turn the scrolls randomly and then turn back through all the shows. You're like, oh no, was that a scroll? Wait,
right, exactly. But you have to have major characters to do that, not some just want to be like politicians in the MCU that we don't know. Like, yeah.
It just felt like it was like even in other shows, you could have did it in She-Hulk, you could have did it everywhere. Just had that presence that scrolls are everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's a million of them. Instead, you just throw it into a show and we didn't see them and no build up to it, and that's like, oh, they're dangerous. I'm like, oh, we didn't know because we didn't see them in no other show. It's just like the thing they did good under Bob Iger, everything felt connected. This feels completely disconnected from everything else they did.
Yeah, no, I understand we're not getting no jokes or anything from that, from the show. But again, it's like now it's like, okay, what's the matter of this? What's the level of importance? Because Secret Invasion, the comic book storyline, it crossed over many different storylines when like with different characters of the Avengers. So it's like for them to do the offshoot of like a Secret Invasion light, prototype, whatever storyline, it should be an Avengers movie. It not should be on a show on Disney Plus for 6 hours. But then, we're just going XYZ, we're just doing this espionage stuff.
I do have hope for it though. I do have hope.
I mean, it just my thing is I really like episode 2, but my thing is I want this show to have impact because just of the storyline that they're doing, and I know they're not. Like it's gonna
what I'm being very glass half full, and I'm hoping they introduce the Super Scrolls in the last episode, and then just like okay, Secret Invasion will return. Like okay, then we're gonna get the real because the Super Scrolls is the main point of it. So I'm
right, Fantastic Four. But what in the episode 2, what you're seeing, what they're doing is that they're trying to make Super Scrolls out of other characters like the Fantastic Four, but not the Fantastic Four. So they're trying to get pieces from like Groot and Extremis from Iron Man 3, the Cold Obsidian Hand from Infinity War, and like Frost Giants from like Thor: Dark World and stuff like that. Try to do somewhat similar powers for Super Scrolls from the Fantastic Four, but
that's why I hope it don't end because I'm like, how Nick? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, Nick Fury ain't gonna beat those Super Scrolls. I know Daisy Quake's supposed to be coming, and she kind of strong, but I don't know about that.
Hopefully, I mean, listen, it got to give me some interest in this, but yeah.
But I feel like it had potential if they do what hopefully they do. I'm a half full guy, but like I said, the show is not bad. It's just random. It just feel like you just threw it in. Oh, the Marvels coming out. Let's put this in here to give Nick Fury a storyline before the Marvels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know. I'm just trying to as I'm like reviewing all this content and everything, because I just want to try to have like energy to watch it and stuff. Because like I'm pulling my teeth. I love all these characters, but it's been like last few years just been like kind of just going for me, and now like the naiveness of me as a Marvel fan, where I'm like, I'm just kind of I'm just trying to have hope. But yeah.
I'm a little more because Bob Iger's back and Bob Chapek not forcing them to do 30 shows and 8 movies a year. Because Bob Iger has literally already cut back the shows already, so he's like, "Yo, we not."
Yeah.
We're not doing all this. It just makes no sense. And then even Marvel, they've been like, "Yo, we're gonna focus more on content and then the quantity because that's what we've been focusing on now." So. Hopefully we get better shows. Hopefully they get back in their groove.
Yeah. Because tomorrow I'm gonna do a show talking about the whole new Superman casting and stuff, but more try and do the new direction of the DC universe and stuff, because I think now that where Marvel is kind of on a kind of like a standstill right now at this moment, give the opportunity for DC to rise up and stuff with content, but no, only time will tell. But
season finale of Lois and Clark, did you watch it?
yes, no, listen, let's talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link tomorrow. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to Overall Media, 99 Media, and you can subscribe to me also, Jedi Mike 7, y'all. This is the first collaboration. Won't be the last though. Make sure you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a safe holiday and everything. But I'll see y'all tomorrow and see you next time. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell on both of our channels. And be up to date on any uploads we have coming up very, very soon. All right, so next time, Overall 99 Media, Jedi Mike. Peace, y'all. We are out.